moment, immediately get goosebumps, and I knew that's something.
If you hear it once, this melody will never forget about it.
The song creates a very special energy.
It was playing in front of 80,000 people.
And it became something else.
We had lawyers in Italy, we had lawyers in the States, lawyers in the UK to try to control it. We couldn't.
Domination.
Kernkraft 400 was like any great idea. They come very quickly with no intention of how this is going to work, if it's going to be successful or anything. It just came out of the moment. What you need still is a audio in. I went to a club in Munich, famous club, Ultraschall, back in the days. It was like in an old canteen of the old airport. That's kind of like how I was socialized into like the techno scene. I also went to like an illegal kind of party that was very hidden, but it was really intense. So it really shaped my idea of what a party should look like. And after that, I branched out with a couple of people and we made illegal parties in empty houses, in empty industrial spaces, quite dangerous. It was a very uncommercial party concept and we all lived for the music. I mean, that's also how after this I got to making my own music. It was kind of like a rivaling party crew. He did more like performance art at the time. And I reached out, like, let's make a track together, let's make some music. And the first album we did, I don't know, was like 4 or 5 songs together. Kernkraft 400 was in a set of like a couple of songs that I made for the first EP. I used a melody in it that I remember from when I was playing Commodore 64 games. The Lazy Jones game. I remember that game particularly. It had like 10 games in it. So you had like 10 rooms that you go in and every room had its own soundtrack and its own little sub game. And then there was that one. I always liked to go in that room because I liked the sound in it, you know? And I think I played that game just to go in that room and listen to it. But then, of course, I forgot about it for a long time. And I think I got in touch with the game again through an emulator. And I heard the melody again and replayed it with a SID station. There we go. This is some ancient club dirt right there. That was used on the Kernkrafts. It just worked perfectly. I, at the time, knew this is a cool track. I hope a couple of people would play it in the club. And that was the original version. Muno reached out to Hal and gave him the demo because he had that contact.
I knew Florian and Muna. They did like illegal parties. They were just like making an impact in Munich. I think they gave me maybe a DAT cassette that time with the demos on it. I heard it and I loved it.
DJ Hal was kind of like a fixture in Munich. He was DJing around and the stuff that he did on the label, I really liked it. The music was also not so clear-cut, so I thought that would be a good fit. The EP was released in March '99 on Jiggle Records. And holding the first vinyl in my hands, like, whoa, you made it. So the first license interest came from Italy. The label wanted to have the track, which is an electro kind of style, but they also proposed to put a remix that they made already on it. When it was licensed to Italy, they made a more straightforward version, which is the DJ Geo's remix, which is the version that became popular everywhere. It was just a straight beat, straight hi-hat, a little break in there, and off we go. heard the remix, somebody played it to me, and at first I'm like, whoa, this is not gonna be good. It was that feeling that continued from the start, because it's a little bit more accessible, a bit more trancey, a bit more four to the floor.
If you play the original Gigolo version and then the other version, they would say it's the same. You know, people who are not DJ or in the industry or musician, they would say it's the same song. What are you talking about?
At the time, it was a kind of a strict division between certain styles, between also a commercial kind of trance and underground techno. So this didn't really represent what I was doing at the time. And especially from where I came from, this underground scene, it was like a sin for me to be associated with anything commercial at the time, you know, for all my life or for everything. But we agreed to like, okay, let them have it. Italy's just one country and it's gonna be fine. Nobody's gonna ever hear of it again. But then it turned out that this remix sparked the interest of a label in Germany that wanted to have it the worldwide rights. It was a weird feeling because this track became kind of the original of the track because a lot of labels didn't bother to say it's a remix.
I don't know how many bootleg was done of Kernkraft 400 because this melody, you never forget about it. It was totally out of control. And then he started touring. He was playing in Mexico in front of 80,000 people. He was headlining festivals all around the world, traveling like insane.
There were some occasions where I had to perform the remix version because that's what's in the charts. So of course I don't want to hear like my quirky version. It's like that's the song. So I have a choice to go there and either do it or not. And it's like, okay, let me do it, but I do it my way. And about a half year later, the chant version came up. It went everywhere from there. When I heard the chant singing stuff, I was really sick to my stomach because it was like, it's so far from, you know, what I did to have like a bunch of hooligans, really aggressive. It just like was a weird moment.
We hated it. We said we will never release that version with the chanting. We had lawyers in Italy, we had lawyers in the States, we had lawyers in the UK to kind of control it, but it was totally out of control. And I think it took 1 or 2 years to try to control it. We couldn't.
They just made this record and sent it out to all the stations in the US, and there it was.
The Italian version was a musical disaster. I'm still angry about that version today. But we finally had to agree to release that version, if you like it or not, you know. That's the music industry.
Right now, I'm meeting DJ Hell, my man DJ Hell from Munich. I think I've seen him about 2 or 3 years ago. I'm always happy to see him. He's a fun guy. You know, we went through this together. I don't think Gigolo was really prepared for the whole...
No, we were just a little label, not prepared for this kind of madness. And then I remember hearing the first time it was played at the Super Bowl final. I was like, I can't believe that. I can't believe that.
Here's the question, were you singing along when he was coming on the stage?
No, I didn't like it. Because, you know, that in a stadium with 60,000 people, and it's like, you know, I don't want to sing it, okay? And then everybody sings the song and it's like, oh my God, not again, you know.
Maybe it's like something we have to resolve. Yeah. We have to go in a stadium and just let it out.
Yeah. Atomic Bazaar.
Yeah,
that's you? No.
That's me, yeah, no questions.
Well, I really can't remember the video.
There's some bass there we don't hear in the speakers.
Really?
Oh, 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 So I first became aware of Zombie Nation probably about 6 months before we released it in Germany. I saw this video of the song, and across my desk comes what I thought was a bootleg, apparently from Italy, which all of a sudden had a chant vocal. So to me, it seemed like the natural thing. It added a real commercial touch to the record.
Radical Records was the US label that licensed it from EDM, and they were also the only label that had that vocal version. So I'm like, let's put it on there, it's fine. And really, it's a mystery to me how it became a stadium anthem.
We had some good contacts at some sports arenas because of our prior success with Tour Unlimited, Get Ready for This. Especially here in New York at Madison Square Garden, one of our previous artists was working there as the musical director. He loved it and started testing it. And that kind of triggered eventually that penetration of the market in the sports arenas.
It was played at the Super Bowl, went #2 in the UK charts, and I think top 10 or top 20 in Germany. You know, people couldn't realize when they go to the shops or want to buy it, what's the original. Most of them didn't buy the original. This bootleg version became the most sold version. We tried to stop it, you know, but it was too late.
Financially, it was better after I took control of the rights, the publishing and master rights in 2006. After the remix, DJ Geos never contacted me. I didn't contact him. I mean, what can I say? I'm like, thanks, dude. And he's like, yeah, well, give me some more money.
I'm not sure if we ever found the guy. Or it was just like a fantasy name, DJ somebody, you know. Maybe this DJ doesn't exist.
Of course, he would deserve a bit more credit, but never asked for it either, you know. David Whittaker is the guy who wrote the game. So we came to an agreement with him that we can use the melody. 15 years later, he contested that. Turned out then that he couldn't prove that he wrote the melody, actually. So the end result is that, you know, as in the beginning, the melody and the song is mine, I control it, and that's, I think, how it's supposed to be. It would be a shame if that melody would be still on a floppy disk wherever, you know, in digits, in zeros and ones. But it took somebody to find it and to recognize what it is, you know.
Ready, Amy? Got everything you need?
Huh? That's it.
Let's head out.
When I was touring, let's say like 3-4 days out of the week, you know, I always found it pretty difficult. But I enjoy now that I have a little bit more time to enjoy seeing the kids when they're little, because it really goes fast and then bam, it's happened, you know. I grew up through it with all the challenges and I wouldn't want to miss it in the end. But this is a lucky fate.
That defines Florian's life forever, you know. This was one idea, you know, one sample, one melody. He has more to offer, you know. He's a great guy, he's a great musician. And if it always comes to this one song, yeah, I'm happy it made him famous. Very famous.
I had a lot of experiences with it. I also a lot of doors opened. It enabled me to continue to make music. If you fast forward 50 years though, I'm a little bit afraid that this could all be clouded by Kernkraft. The most people are always gonna see that one song. Am I happy with it? God, what choice do I have? If somebody today thinks that is my song and it's the remix, I'm completely fine with it too. And if that's what brings them to me, maybe they listen to some other stuff, then, you know, that's a win-win situation too.